As long as it doesn't get to Fazgoo, I'm fine with a little retcon. Hi guys, today we're going to be talking about the well-deserved consequences for the men in Obsession and Backrooms, the two hottest horror movies right now. I have watched both in full in the theaters. I got a lot of opinions, so let's go through it. First, let's go through the overall living consequences of Bear. So this is going to have a couple different theories as well. This isn't just my opinions, this is also like speculation of the overall story and schematics of what's going on. Honestly, the way that I see Bear's character throughout the entire thing is just this incel, loser, coward, no friends other than work. Like, he doesn't go outside other than work and trivia night. Like, Ian's over there talking about trivia night's all I have. Dude, that's all Bear has. Like, bro's doing nothing else. His grandma had recently passed, and then he literally left the pills out to where the cat overdosed. Like, and he's going through a lot because he's trying to reveal his crush and like confess, and then the person that he's practicing with is the girl that has a crush on him and the dude that's banging the girl he has a crush on. What a nightmare. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't think Ian's all that innocent either. I think he kind of sucks, obviously not as bad as Bear, but we'll get into that. And Ian, like, effectively sabotages him because he's like, oh, call her Freaky Nikki, she hates that. And he does it. And Nikki's all pissed off because she's like, dude, I just want to go home, I want to go sleep, and you're calling me a nickname that you know I hate. Like, and we know from the conversation that she had with Sarah earlier in the day, she sees him as a brother. And women don't say that kind of thing unless they know you like them, you know? So she definitely knows Bear likes her, and she's not interested, and she wants him to spit it out so she can get it over with, because she's really annoyed. And he takes this as, oh, I'm gonna throw a fit, break the wish, oh, I wish you loved me more than anyone else in the world. And we get the entire rest of the movie. But the entire time, when she is begging and pleading and being like, dude, kill me. Like, rid of my suffering, this is horrible. I don't like this, I don't feel safe, I don't feel good, who am I? What is this? He just blocks it out. Like, there's so many times where either, like, the music will muffle, voices will muffle, or he just looking off, like with a dead-eyed stare. And even whenever she cooks his freaking cat that he was crying over and being so sad about in the beginning of the movie, he's like, babe, you can't do that, that's not, come on, man, that's not cool, you can't, what is wrong with you? He was so underreacting the entire movie, and it's honestly, that's why a lot of people say that it's about Bear's obsession and not Nikki's, because how is he so crazy and weird over being in a relationship with this woman that he's like, oh, she cooked my cat, oh, she shit on my floor, oh, she killed my best friend, like, what the hell? And when he gets the actual opportunity to, like, call customer service and is like, what can I do? What's going on in this situation? He doesn't even want to cancel the wish. He still wants her to be with him. He just wants her to be more normal. He wants her to be more like normal Nikki. And then the wish Nikki is literally like screaming, crying, begging on her knees, I cannot be her. Like, that is not a thing. And that's why I really think that it's an entity rather than a representation of the wish itself being cursed. Because the way that she was acting was just straight up like a demon that had never been in a human form before, at least was trying to get used to it. And the whole like, oh, my dad is sick, can I come over, can you come inside? That is so like demon trying to get your soul to me. Like, that can't be anything else in my opinion. And I really think that it goes to show that Bear's entire character is that he doesn't care about anybody else. He doesn't really like, he has no empathy. That's the main thing with these two men, Clark and Bear, is that they have no empathy. Honestly, I don't even know if Ian has that much, honestly. And even whenever Nikki is literally like, kill me, the other me is asleep, kill me, I can't do this anymore, his response is, what's so bad about being with me? And then he goes to cheat on her with another girl at 3 a.m. Do you hear me? What the fuck? Sorry. And it's like, Sarah, girl, you could have waited. It did not have to be 3 a.m. It is a college acceptance letter. Calm your freaking titties. But hey, guess she's the only one that got bricked up. Ayo, sorry, my bad. He should have been telling Ian everything. Like, whenever he was going to beg Ian to make the wish, he should have told him everything. Like, he didn't even tell him that Sarah was dead. Like, How do you just not try to take... He's so scared about himself getting in trouble. He's so scared about his consequences and his inevitability and him having to be like, yeah, I did this to everybody. He can't handle that. So he doesn't admit anything to anyone. Even whenever he was going to kill himself at the end of the movie, he almost tried to throw up because Nikki was like, we can take a break. It's okay. We can have some space if that's what you want. To like lure him in even further. And then he was gonna throw up because he's like, oh great, she's normal now, yay, it'll be all fine, now it can just be me and her forever. And then, like, he tries to, and thank God Wish Nikki actually snaps the One Wish Willow again, because he deserved to die. My opinion of it is kind of like the Smile movie. That was my first vibes of it, if that makes any sense. Because the way that I saw it, and the way that the director had described it in one of the interviews, which, to be honest, the director, from what I've seen, changes what the opinions are of the actual lore a lot, but, you know, it's an indie film, so. As long as it doesn't get to Phasgoo, I'm fine with a little retcon. But the way that I see it is almost like the entirety of the friend group got cursed. Maybe including Bear, but I'm unsure. The way that I kind of saw it was going, and I see this with the Backrooms as well, is going into the jaws of your own consequences and just walking through it just completely blind. And the way that Ian and Sarah were acting because of how strange it was makes me kind of think that all of them were possessed or influenced by the wish in one way or another. Because again, Sarah, that was stupid. And then Ian going, Sarah, I got $1 billion, and then getting shot. Like, dude, come on. The fact that Ian, whenever Bear was like begging, like, please use your wish to reverse Nikki, like, fix this, please. And he's like, I wish for $1 billion. Psh. I feel like that was kind of the, if that makes sense, like the demon being like, haha, frick you, you can't fix this. And I felt the same way about the customer service and the people that are actually in the esoteric shop. Because the entire movie has this theme of, well, you know, the wish will end if you kill yourself. You know, the only way to set her free is if you kill yourself. Like, the customer service guy says that, and then the guy at the esoteric shop is like, you know, have you ever just thought of, like, you know, killing yourself? It's almost, to me, like, my kind of theory is that the entirety, it's almost like Bear, whenever he snapped that, got transported into like almost a demon realm that was like the exact same as his world, but everybody is influenced by this wish. Or it's the same universe, but like everybody around him, just to make it make sense, got influenced. I don't know. But one of those, I think everybody for some reason got harmed in one way or another. You know, in the movie that the One Wish Willow can be good, and the fact that the director said that Bear's wish itself was cursed, I think it's kind of like a genie situation where you get what you ask for, but depending on your intention or like something in it, it can get messed up. And since Bear was doing it out of an unhealthy obsession, it turned into an unhealthy obsession and all of his living consequences, which was all of his friend group getting influenced and all of them in their demise. Except for Nikki, final girl, yay! And the reason why I think that the wish ends when you kill yourself is because the entire point of the wish is to make you kill yourself or to harvest your soul when you die. So if it's like a good thing and you die of old age, it's still gonna take your soul. That kind of thing, if that makes sense. And it was so obvious during the movie that he was the bad guy, thank God, because I do not need to hear those internet arguments even more. But he doesn't even really have the like ability to connect with others. Like, we see like Nikki, she's got 2 weeks, like she's gonna be a writer. Sarah, I don't know, she's gonna go to college, like that's super important. And then Ian, he's got trivia night. But Bear, like, he lost his grandma, he lost his cat, the girl he likes doesn't like him back, so he's all this old, woe is me, oh, I deserve to enjoy this because I never get anything I want. It's one of those kind of vibes to me, if that makes sense. And I feel the same way about the Backrooms, so let's get into that. Clark is such a depressed character. He's so sad. And he shows the other side of not being willing to change. I think the Backrooms is the perfect representation, and I think that it is actually a living entity also trying to consume people. Same thing as Obsession. And the reason why I believe that the Backrooms was a great interpretation of how possibly alcoholism and just being unable to reflect on yourself and just not being able to understand the consequences of your own actions and acknowledgement of your own flaws can consume you. Because that's all the Backrooms is flaws. It's because it's like trying to draw a dog, but you've never seen a dog before. So everything's slightly distorted and wrong and off-put, but it's still like the same as the real world, just slightly off. So obviously the characters that are more central to Clark's story are around Clark's store. But I personally do not believe that this is like a full like hallucination of Clark's mind or anything like that. I don't think the Backrooms are a representation of Clark himself. I don't think Bro's that powerful. But I do think his section and the reason why the Backrooms exist is why he goes in there, is because he is a bad person and gets consumed for it. So as I spoke about in a short video that I posted, I really think that the still life forms, especially the red-haired lady, the wheelchair guy, and the like 6 eyes guy, that all of them are mushrooms, like fungi, bacteria, all of that. And my personal opinion for why Pirate Clark bleeds and why we see the X-ray skeleton at the end of the movie is actually because that's where Kat's body went. Now, obviously, the creature has a skull in it, as we saw in the X-ray, but, what I'm thinking it is that it's the Backrooms learning the inside of the human body. So, basically, whenever Clark is in that pool area, and the girl is like, I can see you, you can't see me, what the frick? That she gets caught by Pirate Clark, she gets eaten, and whenever she gets eaten by Pirate Clark, the mushrooms and what he's created out of whatever bacteria, it kind of like learns more about what a human being is made out of, so like absorbs that and just adapts and creates more of it, if that makes sense. I think Clark specifically is so violent is because the way that the Backrooms is created is largely based off of the memories of the general consciousness. It's kind of like Fire Force in that way, if you've ever seen that anime. So with Clark specifically, we know of 2 people that know him, actually 3 that know him the most. So that would be Mary, the therapist, who psychoanalyzes him and is like, this is a bad person. Like, straight up, like he cannot take any consequences, he cannot take any accountability, he just refuses, he does not want to change. The second is his ex-wife, who he screamed at and is heavily implied that he abused. And then third, anybody that ever saw his pirate commercials. So, what do all those 3 things have in common? 2 of them, super bad person. The other one, pirate. And that's the same reason why I think the red-haired lady, presumably Clark's still-life wife, was running away from Pirate Clark, was because in that general unconsciousness, all that she is known for is her bad relationship with Clark. Because if you've been married to somebody for a while, and everybody knows you're getting treated wrong, that's how people are going to perceive you, is as the person that gets beat, or gets hurt, or anything like that. And it's when Clark gets confronted by Mary, and Mary's like, dude, you suck, that he's like, you know what? We don't have to change. You hear that? And he gets consumed by his evilness, because all that Clark is remembered for by his wife, by Mary, is his evilness. And then, especially if the tabloids had come out for anything of being like, man missing at store, his wife comes out and says that he was a horrible guy. Like, if anything like that comes out, just even more violent. And Clark may have an excuse because of the mold poisoning for going so crazy, but it's still, you know, not cool to kill people. But I think what both of these movies truly represent is how the fact that if you are unwilling to take a step back and look at your own actions, you're not going to be able to change, make anything better, and it actually creates horrific circumstances. Because then you're just straight up like, ha ha ha, nothing's my fault, nothing's my fault, nothing's my fault. Meanwhile, flames, explosions, and everybody around you is hurting because you can't just, like, think. And you can't be like, hey, maybe I'm hurting the people around. Maybe it's not nice to be like that. And my personal opinion for why there isn't more still lifes is because, one, the Backrooms is huge, potentially infinite, so of course everybody's going to be scattered about. But also, since I think that the general reason why they're attacking the real people is because they're seeing them as food sources or like a danger, like potentially like a parasite or something. I don't know. Maybe an immune system. Maybe it's like the inside of a creature. I have no idea. But as Clark stays in there longer, they're not violent to him. And as Bear gets okay with Nikki being crazy, they get that super cute montage. Because truly, the worst thing that you can be is ignorant in a really bad time, especially if it's your fault. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about these two movies, some of my theories, and how much, man, these two main guys suck! And you know, Ian kind of sucks too, because, like, straight up, bro, $1 billion? Frick you. He is not the world's most ethical billionaire. He hurt Nikki to do that. But yeah, that is about it for today. Just wanted to like start the conversation. Let me know down in those comments how you feel, not only about this video, but also the two movies in general. And if you really liked it, you can hit that like button because that gives me that sweet, sweet dopamine to keep making these videos. If you want to see even more of them, you can hit that subscribe button. And if you want to support me making even more videos, you can check out my Ko-Fi. I currently have a goal right now to do witchcraft at the arcade. Trust me, I'm not going to bring a One-Wish Willow to win a freaking prize, I promise. But for now, stay cautious of gateways, wishes, and men, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye! I know I talked bad about these two dudes this whole time, but not gonna lie. Clark could make a bad wish with a One-Wish Willow, but Bear could never survive the Backrooms. And also his still life would be a pussy!